Uh, I let you down. I gave you my commitment, and as I always do, I lost sight of the big picture and got lost in the details of trying to help Beth solve a problem about billing for a customer. I'm not making excuses. I should have told them that I couldn't help her until I finished the work on my project assignment. Instead, I thought I could get it done, and I could come in on the weekends and do some overtime, and you know, even though Beth couldn't come in to do the work. But I couldn't get both done, and I overestimated my own productivity, which needs to be improved.
Real different now, and stereotypes are bad, which is what makes them so much fun to use. But we've moved from the sales and marketing department to accounting here, haven't we?
It looks like that would be a person we would typically find in accounting. Quiet, gestures to self. In fact, there's almost a sense of wanting to contain herself and hold herself as still as possible. And that's that introverted side instead of the extroverted side. Very obvious in her case. And then we listen to what she's saying, and when she is presented with a problem, she's taking the entire thing on herself. And even no excuses. I give no excuses. I should have done this. She was falling on behalf of the whole team.
Right.
And some of what she was talking about, her attempt at a solution was taking it for the whole team. I thought I could just model. I thought I could just work the overtime myself, and other people would do the same. So this is a very clear SJ, very dutiful performance, doing the right thing. And clearly, we are looking at somebody who's such a backbone of a company.
Oh, right.
That it's very easy to lose sight of their importance.
And easy to burn them up, too.
I think that's where we're headed with
Sure. All right, good. Well, she's late, feels terrible about it. How do you handle this? How do you get the solution and maybe avoid burning up Monique as you work with her?
I've been thinking about the assignment you want me to take on and how I should manage 18 people. That's a bigger group than I've ever had before. But I think the best way to lead is by example. And when they see me working side by side with them, working as hard as I can, I think I will be able to communicate how important this assignment is. It will tell them how hard we all have to work to get it done. One thing you can be sure of is that I will not slack off. I will work overtime, at night, and on the weekends. I will also pitch in to help any team members who are having any trouble meeting their production goals or whose quality is slipping below the standards we need.
Okay, we've seen yet another type here. What can we say about Monique from that fast look?
Well, we already know that she's that SJ type, so she is going to want to follow policy and procedures. So when she gets an assignment, she's ready for it.
Yep.
And we know she's also a little more intuitive, so she's not going to be someone who wants to take a lead and be out there in front of people in a sense of making assignments, asking them and telling them what they need to do for outcomes. She's going to want to choose to lead by example. In a quiet way, making an assumption that if people see her doing all the work, they're going to want to chip in and help her with it. And so because she's coming from this position where she's thinking of those interactions with people and how to be accommodating to the team members, we can make a good guess that she's a feeling type. And so we would have that ISFJ.
ISFJ. And we have an assignment here we have to clarify for her. And the issue is, maybe, despite years of experience, that people are not following her example. She's going to try it yet again, isn't she?
This is a type, this particular type, that I would even go so far as to call the long-suffering type. And they're long-suffering because they do the same thing over and over again. They lead by example. They take
no
on
one follows the example.
They take on more than their share. What they'll get are people bonding with them to give them their share of the work. And
the parasites.
Parasites, and actually even people who are well-meaning and thinking, she wants that amount of work. This makes her happy when it doesn't.
And there's also people who are not well-meaning who will give her all their work. Yeah,
those two.
okay. So we need to deal with that in terms of clarifying this assignment for her, so we don't perpetuate the problem she's had, maybe throughout her career, but we need to fix it on this project. That's your problem.
I know the other people on the design team laugh at me behind my back. I don't mind, but I think people shouldn't make jokes about the president of this company or criticize anybody for that matter. But you really shouldn't do that if they're not in the room. That is deceitful and dishonest. People ought to have more respect for their coworkers and recognize that each one of us has our own flaws. Also, the company has its procedures and rules for timesheets, submitting expense reports, and the kinds of jokes that people should make in mixed company. These things are important to the organization and to other employees here. I cannot help but speak up when people here don't live by the rules of the company.
We're going to lose Monique, who is probably one of the most dependable and productive members of the project team. And there's a whole lot of our dancing and singing SP types that we could probably lose and not have much of a problem, but this is a critical resource. How do we save her?
This is when I drop everything and start making a listing of all the things that she has done that has been valuable, that has had concrete results. I would use language of appreciation and tie it into outcomes that she can, you would, almost like a checklist.
Yeah.
Yes, you have done this, check. You have done this. I have noticed and appreciated and maybe failed to say to you. So I'd even go that far as to really connect with her, and that feeling side will appreciate being acknowledged.
And she's an easy type to not acknowledge.
I would say it's more predictable that she would be unacknowledged, or that the he's of the world would be unacknowledged.
Yeah.
However, this particular type, temperament type, the ISFJ, tend to be females. And they tend to be workhorses that quietly go about never getting the recognition they truly deserve. And then there comes a tipping point, and I think we're seeing her at that tipping point.
Yep. And this is obviously a type. I want to be teeing myself up at the beginning for how I manage her, to not let her, because left to her own devices, she will head downhill like this, won't she?
She'll work herself to a place of complete dissatisfaction and possibly leave the company.
Sure. And I need to anticipate that from the type and plan her assignments, plan my praise.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's